Wednesday. Wednesday evening, about 5:10, just about. And we are live for the second time. I'm actually cruising through YouTube right now just to see um, any of our friends are live, give them a little support. I have our friend Ivy up and running, one of her, the Ivy and Rich podcast. And who else do I have? Let's see. I have our friend Tokyo up and running. He's in the midst of a hardcore battle. I'm not sure what they're playing, him and Smitty. Oh, and our friend Mayhem and Miracles, Masha. She is up. I missed her live stream session today, so I wanted to play her. Um, I wanted to play it anyway, now that it's up. Um, and I dive in and listen for a bit, and then I go about doing my business, but I like leaving it up running. I can dive in anywhere in her conversations and always get something, always find a channel that I haven't connected to, always find someone that needs watch hours. Um, and it's always generally a very entertaining conversation. So you can't go wrong. But I thought maybe our friend Noble might be up doing a live stream, but I don't see him. I'm going to give one more check. And then where I'm a little behind, I was offering the 7 spiritual laws of success, with the plan being one law per day as it is outlined. But um, I fell a bit behind yesterday. And all right, I don't see Noble. I was going to pop in and say hi and leave him up. But so yesterday, let's do a quick review. Day 1, which is Sunday, is the law of pure potentiality. Pure potentiality states that with the right practice, being out in nature, meditation, silence, we align ourselves with the universe, the universal principle of pure potentiality, which means that the creative force that caused that singularity of existence to expand into the Big Bang, the big whoosh, still on the plate, still happening, still present, and in fact is the cause, the only cause, the singular cause of everything that happens in the universe, the world, and our lives. So when we align with that, we become more conscious creators. That is day 1. Day 2 is the law of giving, which is also could be defined as the law of giving and receiving, or the law of circulation. One doesn't happen without the other. There's no such thing as just an out breath without the return of an in breath, or just an in breath without giving back the out breath, at least until we get to that very, very last one, that last exhalation. We practice that by simply giving. Always have a gift for someone. Everyone you come in contact with. It doesn't have to be physical, but it doesn't exclude a physical gift. And it could be something small. It could be a flower. It could be a card. It could be whatever. But it can also be just a kind word. It can be a smile. It can be a thought. It can be a blessing, a wish of goodwill, a wish of health, a wish of joy, a wish of happiness. Very easy to put in practice. And like all things within a law of circulation, what you put out is what you get back. Day 3 which was yesterday, is the law of karma, or cause and effect. Now, read what Deepak wrote. That every action generates a force of energy that returns to us in like kind. What we sow is what we reap. And when we choose actions that bring happiness and success to others, the fruit of our karma is happiness and success. We could also call that as well the law of giving and receiving and the law of circulation. Um, and it really is a simple practice. All of these are simple practices. And again, um, although the title is The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success, um, the success that's being talked about is rediscovering ourselves, rediscovering our true nature, the success of knowing who we truly are. Um, Really, it's a book of Vedic and yogic wisdom. So we put the law of cause and effect, the law of karma, into practice. Witness the choices that we make in each moment, and in the mere witnessing of these choices, we will bring them to our conscious awareness. We will know that the best way to prepare for any moment in the future is to be fully conscious in the present. Whenever we make a choice, we will ask ourselves two questions. What are the consequences of this choice that we're making, and will this choice bring fulfillment and happiness to me and also to those who are affected by this choice? We can't exclude others from the choices that we make, even though we believe we're making a personal choice. Um, we live in an intimately impersonal world, meaning it's not just us. There's no such thing as just us, but there is just us, if that makes sense. There's only us. I always mention when Ramana Maharshi was asked by a follower, how should we treat others? He replied with a smile that there are no others. And that sums it up. That's the law of karma. It's not punishment. It's not retribution. It's not vengeance. I always smile when I see someone on social media who's been through a bad breakup, or I don't smile at that, or some other similar issue, and they say something along the lines of, I believe in karma and you'll get yours. Um, and of course, who's to say who's an instrument and who's karma? It's all karma. Karma simply means action. It doesn't mean punishment. It doesn't mean justice. It means that as we go through life, we're continuously in action, and each action is continuous in effect. Really, it's just action, 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 effect, effect, effect. Infinite effects to every action. We can't measure it. We can't be karma free. Although Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita gives us a formula to be somewhat free of the effects of karma, and that is to surrender our actions to Krishna, surrender it to God, surrender it to life. Or, I guess a better way of saying it, if you want to leave God out of the equation, if you want to leave Krishna out of the equation, is you simply surrender the effects of all of our actions to life itself and continue on. You are unattached to the outcome itself, which is another principle in the Bhagavad Gita, as well as the Tao Te Ching, that there is no doer. So when you relate to the fact there's only action, there's only doing without a true doer, you're free of that karmic effect. Because it's, who would it cling to? You're just that motion as well, always moving on. There's no place where you actually are. So if you give up, if you surrender, let's say your little self for the big self, you for the universe. It's the same thing as surrendering to Krishna, the same thing as surrendering to God. You basically become karma free because you are karma itself. You are just action, you are just motion. Today, law of karma was yesterday, and I skipped it because, man, the conversation went off to a big start, big jump. I enjoyed it thoroughly, but didn't have time to talk about this stuff. Probably much to the pleasure and delight of those listening. Today, day 4, and remember it's one for each day, is the law of least effort. And this always appeals to me, maybe because of my innate sense of laziness. Um, Nature's intelligence functions with effortless ease, with carefreeness, harmony, and love. And when we harness the force of harmony, joy, and love, we create success and good fortune with effortless ease. Again, this is the realization that there's no doer. There's just life in action, continuous. We surrender to that. Doesn't mean that there isn't work. Doesn't mean that there isn't effort. But it means that um, we follow the path of nature, which always takes that path of least effort. And we put that into practice by practicing acceptance. Most of our effort in life is really put forward by not accepting what the present moment holds and pushing against it, pushing against it, pushing against it. Or having that future wish, that future desire, that future goal, and we're continuously pulling, can't wait till it gets here. Instead of accepting the present moment, this is where we are and this is where it's at, doesn't mean we can't have a goal. Doesn't mean that we don't work towards something, but it means before we can do any of that, we need to accept exactly where we are. That's a position of power, true power, not a position of force. You can't force anything in nature. You might think that you can, there's always repercussions. Um, so with that, we accept, we accept, and we accept. The very act of our acceptance causes change to happen. And again, acceptance doesn't mean that you have to like where you are, that you have to like what's going on. When Gandhi was kicked off the train in South Africa, he was a very small position lawyer, not much prospect. He was far from the great one, Mahatma, but he had that potentiality, which goes back to law number 1. He was kicked off the train. He was kicked off the train in South Africa for being brown, for being the wrong color. How could a brown or black person be the wrong color in South Africa? How could anyone be the wrong color? Whatever you are is the right color. However, at the time, and for a very long time after, South Africa had those very strict apartheid policies in place. And Gandhi was kicked off the train, and it was in a rainstorm, and it wasn't at a train stop. He had no choice but to get soaking wet, and they get extremely angry and upset, obviously. But he accepted his position. What more could he do? With that acceptance came a great, great change. He decided enough was enough. The system was going to change. And it did. Gandhi, the Mahatma, the great one, the great sage, was born in that instant. You could say everything led up to that. Getting kicked off that train was the trigger. And he used his anger. He accepted it. He accepted that he was getting wet. He accepted that he was angry. He accepted the fact that this was an unfair situation for the world. And he decided to change it. But it came from that place of acceptance first. He gathered that power, and he literally changed the world. And he did it through ahimsa, the first yama in the foundation of yoga, which is non-harm. Not a single shot was fired from his end. And yet, through the power of presence, the power of love, the power of acceptance, he toppled the British Empire from his country. Pretty amazing. Of course, that's the abridged version. It's the Reader's Digest version. 2, having accepted things as they are, I will take responsibility for my situation and for all those events I see as a problem. I know that taking responsibility means not blaming anyone or anything for my situation, and this includes myself. I also know that every problem is an opportunity in disguise, and this alertness to these opportunities allows me to take this moment and transform it into a greater benefit. Hence the story of Gandhi, and we can go on and on. It also shows the power of the ripple effect or the Maharishi effect. Um, Gandhi went on, and through his actions, inspired Dr. Martin Luther King, faced with a similar situation of apartheid in America. And he sparked the, um, it was always in place. I mean, we had um, the movement to end slavery, the movement to end segregation, small at the time, but growing throughout. But um, Dr. King spearheaded the civil rights movement into a greater force. It would have happened, but with him at the head, with him practicing ahimsa, inspired by one, his Quaker education, and two, um, reading Gandhi's words, especially his autobiography, My Experiment with Truth. Um, Again, he accepted his situation and he moved from there, and he caused great changes in America, all through nonviolence. I always dislike the term passive resistance. There was absolutely nothing passive about Dr. Martin Luther King. There was absolutely nothing passive about Gandhi. Gandhi took severe beatings and then was thrown in prison. And in prison, broken and battered, he goes on a hunger strike immediately, gaining worldwide attention for his plight. And they free him. And now, near starved, broken, and battered, he goes on a long march and demonstration, only to be beaten again when he arrived at his destination. Does that sound passive at all? Dr. Martin, Dr. Martin Luther King took severe beatings, was put in prison, had dogs sicked on him, sicked, um, and gave his life for his cause. His cause was our cause, all of ours, the cause of humanity, the cause of conscious evolution, of becoming um, our truest selves, caring, empathetic, compassionate beings. Um, None of that action described, though, sounds passive whatsoever. Um, the other way of practicing the law of least effort. Today, my awareness will remain established in defensiveness. I will relinquish the need to defend my point of view. I will feel no need to convince or persuade others to accept my point of view. I will remain open to the point of views, and not be rigidly attached to any one of them. A lot of people, that was the fourth law. Tomorrow will be the law of intention and desire. A lot of people get confused with defensiveness. Who wants to be defenseless? The most powerful people in the world, they have nothing to defend. Therefore, they're fearless. It's a good place to get to. And you know what? YouTube channel, social media as a whole, a wonderful place to practice. Our friend Eric Lapointe is here. Eric says, I agree. Thanks for being here, Eric. Someone could come right here and have a counterpoint to everything that I said. And sometimes they often do. I was having a conversation here and I was talking about yoga and meditation and non-duality, and someone challenged me and said, you need to restudy your Ramana Maharshi. And as soon as you feel that little pinprick of defensiveness, I've been reading uh, Ramana Maharshi for 30 plus years. I've practiced self inquiry. I've meditated forever. I teach meditation. I've done yoga forever. As soon as I hear myself saying that, how dare you question my credentials? You know what's easier? Throw my credentials at the window. Adopt what they call in Zen beginner's mind. Nothing to defend. I could be wrong about everything I've ever stated. Um, and maybe I am. I'm not tied to anything. That's the power of defensiveness. Doesn't mean you don't protect yourself in a dangerous situation. Doesn't mean you don't protect your family and friends and loved ones. Um, but if you do so from a position of weakness, physical or otherwise, um, you're doing everyone that you're trying to protect a great, great disservice. So that was day number 4, and we'll cover day number 5 tomorrow. The other thing I was thinking about today was the word wow. Milka McCarty is here. Milka says hello. Hey Milka, how are you? And how was school? I didn't realize that, well, I didn't realize it because, I don't know, I never gave it any thought whatsoever. The word wow seems to be a natural exclamation. It has no, people think it originated in Scotland, but as just a verbal, not a word that had any meaning, but a natural wow. Um, if that makes sense. You know how sometimes we grunt when we're doing something, which is just a natural thing? It's the same with wow, except it was a natural expression of astonishment, of a, you look at a sunrise, you look at a sunset, you see whatever. For some reason today I read about the word wow being Scottish in origin. So of course, being curious, I had to study that. Also wanted to study the origin of holy cow, which is another favorite expression. Cows are indeed holy, as is all life. But man, there's something soulful about cows. Roca says it was health class, so meh. And in Spanish, it's gal. And upside down, wow is mom. I actually was thinking that today because the book I was reading, I looked at it as it was upside down and I saw the wow and I said, huh, that's his mom. I love those natural expressions though. That something escapes from us. We can't help it. We are so astonished by a particular sight that the word wow spontaneously appears out of nowhere. Isn't it amazing that sometime, at some point in time, there was the first person to say the first word of everything? There was one person who said tree. And then everyone nodded and said, yeah, yeah, we'll call that a tree. Language, and I know this is a big deal with Milka. She is a linguist. She was a Spanish linguist in the Air Force and then studied Somali. Milka says the Spanish version is pronounced like wow with a slight G sound at the beginning. Gal. Growl. Growl. Okay. I think I got it. But, you know, I think wow transcends that first word experience. Everyone collectively agreed to call a tree, or a rock, or, you know, all that stuff. Eric Lapointe says, I love finding out the origins of words and sayings we use every day. Mocha says, you got it. Yeah, so do I. Um, it's really fascinating. And especially for those words like wow that don't really have a, it's the spontaneousness of wow. Someone was just so overcome, and not just one particular person, but all of us at one point, just so, I think that if we never learned whatever language we speak, and we saw something that just overwhelmed us, that so astonished us, that the word wow would just come out of nowhere without knowing any type of, um, I don't know if there's a type of, if there's a description for that type of expression, but it's considered to have originated in Scotland in the 1500s and didn't make its way into popular American slang until the 1920s. But I don't think, um, I don't think we can just trace it back to Scotland. Again, it's because it's been described as a natural, spontaneous exclamation of astonishment. And of course, we all live our life in a state of astonishment, whether or not we realize it. Every morning we wake up and there's the astonishment that, wow, I exist. Never ceases to amaze me, and it immediately starts a self-inquiry. I exist, but who is this I? Who is this I that exists? The one thing that we can get to is the simplicity of I am. It's the teaching of Nisargadatta Maharishi. I am that. The one thing that we know, the only thing that we truly, truly, truly know is I am aware. You can't say I am awareness or I am aware of, just simply I am aware. We can even do without the aware part and simply say I am, because it implies awareness to it. When we get to that I am, we've reached that natural state, what Nisargadatta Maharishi called Niskara Yoga, natural yoga. Not a single asana had to be performed. No sitting in the lotus position and meditating for hours. No pranayama. I love all of those three things. But the simple realization of I am is the foundation of an enlightened light, an enlightened life. Everything comes back to that I am. I am aware. I exist. I am. And from that realization, astonishment follows. The natural, oh wow, of life comes to us spontaneously. Because I exist. And look at all this stuff that is existing with me out of nowhere. I did nothing for any of this. I am, and look. The spontaneous holiness of wow might be my blog writing assignment. For tomorrow. Stay tuned to my blog. So it makes me wonder, what other words? First, I wonder, again, is there an actual label for such exclamations? And I haven't found one. And what other? I would say like O is another natural, spontaneously occurring expression. Mayhem's a Miracle is here. Says, hey, and hello. How are you? Good. I missed your live session today. Um, but I was actually talking about you at the beginning of my live stream, uh, that I have you up and running because I find that I can dive in wherever in your live streams. I don't need a particular place. I can, like,
um, 2 hours in. So how you doing, Samurai?
I can get a name from anywhere and anywhere in your live stream and go to their channel and connect, make a friend. So again, I'll if I miss your live stream, and even when you're live streaming, when I go about doing something up, I keep you up and running so I can dive in on those odd moments when I'm back online or I'm back on my computer, and it helps. So Mayhem says, "How are you? I'm doing pretty well. Um, talking about the word wow and its origins, where it came from, uh, the naturalness of it. That it doesn't really have an origin like, you know, other words. It was a spontaneous. We saw something amazing and simply went wow, having never, our earliest ancestors having never seen what they saw before, and the first thing that came to them was wow. I don't know why that amazes me. Thinking about wow makes me go wow. Um, Masha says, just making my rounds. Been to 7 channels so far, given everyone watch hours. Very much appreciated. I actually have our friend Ivy up right now as well. Um, the Ivy and Rich podcast. And I had C. Peyton on earlier. I'll put her on again in a little bit. And I also have a couple gaming friends who I don't think have been to your live streams yet, but I keep recommending them as they are expanding the channels. And you know what? I've come to really appreciate gaming channels, the best of them, because it has nothing to do with the game and everything to do with how they present the game and their playing. And done right, like my friend Tokyo 420 here, or I'm giving them a shout out, and Smitty Deuces 187. They they have so much fun and so much joy, and they're so welcoming when you come in that although I might not have any interest in the game itself, I immediately have an interest in the gamers, um, and that becomes a whole lot of fun. Reminds me of hanging out with my friends back in the day. Mayhem says hi to everyone and asking them to smash the like. Thank you. Mayhem Masha says thank you, and you are so supportive. Um, yeah, it does the soul a whole lot of good to support other people this way. I even tell people, hey, you know what? If you want to be completely selfish, go out and help other people because it'll come back to you 1,000%. I can't help it. I was just reading that and the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, a book I've been reading and practicing for almost 40 years. Um, everything, everything circulates. If you want to live in a joyful world, you have to perform acts of joy. You have to encourage joyfulness. You have to help other people. Always amazes me um, when people come into a live stream with uh, sort of they want to come in and be disruptive or whatever, because it can't feel good. It can't feel good for them. So my job isn't to block them. It's not to change the attitude. It's just to welcome them. If they want to stay, that's fine. They can stay. We're going to continue on as we continue on. So Masha says, awesome. Our friend Horror of Spice, Vincent, is here. Says, hey everyone. Vincent, how are you? Mayhem says, I've given her about 30 watch hours so far. Yeah, she's been up all day. And I got to put up another one. So yeah, and it's been that way for 2 or 3 days. I'll have to check in and see how she's doing. And I am, let me bring this up real quick. $2,372. I'm inching my way there. Every day we add a little bit more, we add a little bit more. And it truly is, to get my watch hours, I need a live stream. And I need to present something. I need to be creative. I need to talk. I need to have fun. I need to connect with people. How much fun is that? What a great journey. What a great journey towards getting that sense of achievement, of doing something that's worthwhile and meaningful for me. And the way to get there is to help other people get there. It doesn't get any better than that. I get to come here. I get to have a conversation with my friend Eric Lapointe, with my most important person in the world to me, Milka McCarty, with my friend Masha, with our friend Vincent, and whoever else might pop in. And I never know who that might be. So, yeah, I owe so much to Mayhem and Miracles channel, to Masha's channel, for just opening up the perspective of going live for longer periods of time and being inclusive, helping other people. I mean, I've always been willing to help other people, but with Masha, it was seek people out who need help. Instead before it might be wait. Someone needs help, they'll ask me for help. Or I could say, hey, it appears that you need help. Can I help you? Can I be of service? My favorite mantra, how may I serve? But, I will purposely go to Mayhem and Miracles on a live stream to find out, hey, who needs watch hours? Just the thought of helping someone achieve that goal fills me with no small amount of joy. Eric Point says that's a good way of putting it. Masha says it's a job. I love supporting. I agree. And it actually is a job. And I think if you truly want to be successful on YouTube, you need to approach it as a job. Not a job that you toil at, but a job that you love and you enjoy. You're on YouTube, my opinion doesn't have to be everyone's opinion. You're on YouTube to be of service, including your live stream. I'm here talking about the things that are important to me. You also get to, and this was another big thing that you helped me with, Masha, you get to redefine these rules of engagement. Just because people say you have to, the professional YouTubers say you got to do things this way, that might be a good suggestion, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do things this way. Break the mold. Um, put the effort in and see what you can accomplish. My nature shorts, I use a little handheld recorder camera I got as an early birthday present from Mocha McCarty. Um, so sometimes my shorts are all over the place as I'm zeroing in on the target. It's part of the process for me. I'm perfectly fine allowing my artistic flaws to be part of the art itself. I had a long conversation about wabi sabi, which is the Japanese Zen um, embrace of the flaws. How a broken piece of art becomes art in and of itself because of the brokenness, not in spite of the brokenness. Make mistakes on YouTube. Redefine what you can do and put it all out there. Faults, mistakes, shaky hand, awkwardness. Be authentic. The key to any kind of art, be authentic, be authentic, be authentic. Masha says, yes, I have 4 support. Headful Joker, great guy. I've known him for 2+ years. I will look for him, and I will let him know that I'm there for Masha. Masha says, yep, there are a few who say they support, never see their name anywhere. Oh, that's another thing that was huge for me, Masha. Leave a comment. Hit the like button and leave a comment. Let people know that you're supporting them. Because you know what? Someone might be feeling really down, alone. In this, it's me against the YouTube crowd of the millions of channels. Who's going to notice me? Who's even watching me? Leave a comment. Let them know. I'm there. I'm watching you. And if you got one person, eventually there'll be 2 and there'll be 3. I'm going to tell people. They're going to tell people. Masha says, yes, I had a new gamer come in and ask for a wrench. I said, we can drop links. I don't know him. Have to be careful. Yeah, I've been careful. I went a long time without giving any wrenches. And now I have a select group. And they wield it well and with authority. Vincent says, I'm well. How's the walking, Vincent? Masha, do you know Horror of Spice, Vincent? And Vincent, do you know Mayhem and Miracles? Because that's a great, great connection to make. You have a wonderful channel. And very unique. I haven't come across any channel like yours, Vincent. I love the hot sauce reviews. And I know that you said you and your wife are going to be expanding content soon. Hang out with Masha. Hang out at Mayhem and Miracles. Make connections. Make friends. That's been the big difference with Mayhem and Miracles. That I haven't just gained subscribers. I've made connections. I've made friends. People who come here and actually engage. I've had UK Medic come in and, we'll spend an hour and we'll just talk about all kinds of stuff. He's got a wonderful sense of humor. There's other channels, where you can go and you can make connections. And you do. You can get some subscribers. I'd rather lose 100 subscribers and make one true connection where it's meaningful and I get to have a conversation and get to know people versus just gaining subscribers. Masha says hi to Eric Lapointe. So both Vincent and Eric Lapointe are two people, two connections that I'm very happy to have made that are meaningful for me. Masha says she said her hours went up. Awesome. I'm happy to hear that. Masha says, I'm pretty sure if you watch your own lives, it counts too. Someone told me it counts once, that you can watch them once all the way through and it will count, but you can't do it again. It might help with the algorithms, but it doesn't help with watch hours. I don't know if that is true or not. I should look that up. Masha says, will you all support me? I'm grateful. You know, not to mention, it's just a lot of fun to hang out over there. It's like you're, invited to someone's house for lunch or for coffee or for tea, and you sit around and you talk about work, you talk about the things in your life, you talk about the things that bring you joy, you talk about how you're feeling. It's a conversation. For me, conversation is I don't know if you hear my cat meowing. Um, she always has something to say. Um, Conversation is a true art form, and I think it's underappreciated as an art form, most especially coming here and doing a live stream and being engaging. I'm not making any claims that I'm engaging, but that's the objective at the very least. Whether I succeed or fail is entirely on my own merit. But I come here and try, and I absolutely love coming here and live without any plans of what I'm going to talk about and just let it spontaneously arise. And then, of course, it helps with having great people pop in. Oh, Savage Batman. Um, I will be on it. I actually enjoy his channel very much. He's offers a lot. Offers a lot from sports to gaming to all kinds of other stuff. Eric Point says, "Love the nature shorts." Thanks, Eric. Man, I've fallen in love with that particular art form. And like I said, I have no issues with putting it up there. I don't edit anything. Um, Maybe I should, but I like the whole including the flaws, including everything, because that's part of um, the discovery of nature. You know, part of how it works. Our friend Goldie is here. Hi there, lovely people. As mentioned before, um, I love that entrance. Hi there, lovely people. Same with Squirrel Sniper. Hello, beautiful souls. Masha says, hey, Goldie. That's the reaction Goldie should always get whenever she comes into a chat or into a room. Masha says, nice to see you. Hi there, lovely Masha. And hi there, Eric Lapointe. Milka says hello to all. Mayhem, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to meet Milka, I know everyone else knows Mocha. Mocha, Mayhem has been an invaluable help and friend to me. Um, and Goldie, very kindly, as she often does, as she most often does, actually, has provided a link for Mayhem and Miracles. Um, so definitely, guys, if you are looking for um, to expand your channel, to make friends, to make connections, um, and to help other people, as well as just sit down and have a good conversation with some friends, um, Mayhem and Miracles is the place to go. There's other channels that move in that direction. But honestly, I don't think anyone does it as personable and is as invested in helping people as Mayhem and Miracles. And that's not in any way a slight towards any other channel, not at all. Because I've met some good people from some of those other channels as well. But again, I just don't think anyone is as invested in helping people in the same way. So she sets the bar high, which is amazing. Um, Mayhem and Miracle says, does Eric have a channel? Um, Eric does not have a channel. I looked for Eric before, and I meant to ask him this, so thank you for bringing it up. And we only found one Eric Lapointe, who was a singer. And I'm not saying that our Eric Lapointe doesn't sing, because I'm going to venture that he has a very lovely singing voice. But he is not that Eric Lapointe. Eric Lapointe says, Eric Lapointe, 4518, but I don't have anything going on my channel. One day I'm going to do farming and nature things. Eric, that would be awesome. Would be absolutely awesome. I mean, we've had some great discussions about nature and great discussions about farming as well. And that's another thing. You know, I talked about the gaming community. I absolutely love the home gardening and homesteading community. I always do tell my gaming friends, if you want to expand your channel, don't just reach out to other gamers. Engage everyone that comes along. Treat everyone as a valuable connection that you can help. Masha says, connected to Horror of Spice. That's awesome. Eric says, one day I'm going to do farming and nature shorts. So I wrote that sentence wrong. I got the point though. And I think that's absolutely awesome. Goldie says, Eric Lapointe, please connect with Masha. It's a great place to chat with Masha and other people. It truly, truly is. So many people that come here that that you and I have had great conversations with have come from Masha, and that includes our good friend Goldie. Malcolm McCarty says, I exist. You certainly do. And that should be followed with a wow. Or it could come with the wow first. Wow, I exist. Wow, I am. It's a wonderful prayer first thing in the morning. I mentioned before the 12th century German mystic Meister Eckhart saying that if the only prayer we ever say is thank you, that would be enough. Um, and honestly, I think the simple declaration of I exist is a prayer of thankfulness, especially with the exclamation point, because it puts in the astonishment that I exist. Of all the possibilities that could be, somehow everything was arranged so perfectly by the universe, by God, by love, by creation itself, for me to be here. Gordy says, thank you, Eric Lapointe. I'd love to chat with you there too. Eric Lapointe says, yes, I saw you with my own two eyes, Mocha. Yes, Mocha has been making some uh, just a Yogi doing burpees in his basement appearances, much to everyone's joy and enjoyment, and mine as well. Gordy says, lovely Mocha, you do way more than exist. She certainly brings a lot of love and joy into my life. Mayhem and Miracle says, I'm Masha, by the way. And that Gordy says, nope, Eric Lapointe doesn't have content just yet, but I'm looking forward to when he does. Eric Lapointe has a keen appreciation and insights into nature, and I always enjoy our discussions. Mocha says, oh, thanks, Goldie. Guys, excuse me for 1 second. I forgot to take my nighttime ashwanga. I know Mocha is going to correct me. Let's see. So that's what I just did. I committed the deadly YouTube sin of dead air time. Eric Point says, thanks, Goldie. Goldie says, Mash, you know I was the same way, but people kept subscribing. And Goldie says, my pleasure. Eric Point says, wow. Capital wow. That is definitely going to be my writing assignment for tomorrow's vlog. And if it goes well, I'll read it. One of the content that I've been putting out, I was doing reading from my blog, and I was doing it in sections, making YouTube shorts. And I didn't like the way it flowed because I had to break it up, and it didn't always fit into that neat package. So I let it slide, and I concentrated on doing the nature shorts. But I felt like I was missing part of my YouTube creativity, that part of who I am isn't just doing burpees in my basement, and it's not just talking about yoga and meditation, although that's the foundation of my life. Um, but so is writing. Before anything, I was a writer. The only thing I've ever wanted to do was to be a writer, with the exception of teaching meditation and teaching yoga. But and of course, I find that by writing, I get to write about meditation, I get to write about yoga, I get to write about nature. I don't have to limit myself to anything. I try to fit it into what I'd like to call lyrical prose. And so I've been reading from my blog, diving into the archives, and not doing it as a short, and just reading it and putting out there and seeing how it goes. Rather slow to begin with, but it'll get there. Masha says yes to Goldie, and Goldie typing too fast. Goldie says, don't worry about it much. At one point, someone wrote Goofy Danes. Masha says, sorry, I was watching Horror Spice's shorts. I really like his channel. Mayhem Miracle says, does Mocha have a channel? Mocha does not have a channel. Mocha could have a channel. She's a very talented photographer. And she is also in school right now. I've mentioned this before, put it out there again, because Mocha deserves all due praise. She is a 23-year plus United States Air Force veteran, retired, and after an absence of a few years from school, she still had money left in her GI Bill, and she wanted to return to school and do something that she could help other people with. So she went back to school to get her associate's degree in American Sign Language. She had a friend in 10th grade who was deaf, and she always would have liked to communicate better. And there's other people out there who might feel isolated, not having other people to communicate with. So Mocha is back in school for that, and also photography. So she's taken more photos. She's helped me with some of my shorts as well. And actually, she got me my camera, which is much better than me using my phone, and has inspired me creatively. So she would put together a wonderful channel. Goldie says, nope, but I'll post her link. Masha says she's just a supporter. She's a wonderful supporter. She has supported me for 22 plus years. Goldie says, by someone who knew me years before in real life, hurried up to type a post on Facebook, and autocorrect got in the way. Masha says I have to go. It was nice being here. Thank you, Masha, for coming in. I always appreciate your company and getting an opportunity to chat. Masha says, everyone take care. And how much longer are you live? See, it's been about maybe 20 minutes or so. It's been a little over an hour. So yeah, maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. Goldie says, have a lovely afternoon and evening, Masha. And I agree with Goldie. Masha, have a lovely afternoon. Pam says it's 6 to 9 p.m. Few live in a bit, and got to continue with giving watch hours. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's about 6. I think we're in the same time zone. I think you said you were in Ontario, and I'm on the East Coast in the United States. Goldie says it is 1:09 here, waiting for Eric to finish up, and we'll go to sleep. I appreciate you being here, Goldie. Oh, I didn't see Odom come in. I missed that. Must have been when I was taking my stuff. Odom, how are you? There he is. Saying hey. Odom, I think you've met Masha, Mayhem Miracles, before. Masha, if you're still here, Odom's another great person to connect with. He has one of the best homesteading, gardening channels on YouTube. He brings so much joy to what he's doing. Definitely someone to connect with. And Odom, Masha is the place to go to make connections. Eric Point says, "Well, go to your champ." Yeah, she certainly is. Luca says, "I don't see the point of having my own channel." I could see the point in you having a channel. As mentioned before, you're a very creative person, and it would just be another creative outlet for you. Having said that, you are a great participator, and I enjoy it. As well as the Mocha has given me unwavering support, and more importantly, belief in all of my slightly harebrained outlets that I've pursued. Never once saying that I couldn't do something. Sometimes saying that maybe I shouldn't do something, but never saying that I couldn't do something. Goldie says, "Now I'm fishing for compliments." What are you talking about, Eric? To you being a champ? What amazes me, Goldie steps up and does what needs to be done happily, spontaneously, because it needs to be done. Just as a friend. That's the amazing thing to me, is Goldie came in as a friend. Like, immediately. She was a friend. There was no need to sort of like when you danced around each other a bit, it was Goldie's a friend. It's an amazing quality. And it's very much appreciated. It's case in point. Odom's channel is linked up here. So yeah, I definitely hope everyone's connected to Odom. Even if, I'm not blaming Odom, but even if it was Odom that inspired an hour-long conversation about ice cream, that totally confused Flower. She was like, "Wait a minute, this is Yogi's channel? This is the guy that talks about all that weird stuff, and we're having a conversation about apples, pancakes, and ice cream." Eric Point says, great job, Mocha. Great thing to learn. Great things to learn. Yeah, I was actually really happy that she was doing photography courses because it was a long time interest, a long time passion that was sort of and unfortunately put on the back burner. You know, one job, other stuff. You know, life often gets in the way of our passions. Um, but school helps give it a focus. You know, school, you have to make it a priority. So you're putting your passion back on the front burner, and then things can get done. And great job. Let's see that. Oh, talking about you being up late, Goldie. This is true. Uh, I appreciate the fact that she's waiting for me to run out of steam uh, before she goes to bed, which isn't too much longer, actually. Maybe 10 minutes. Goldie says Odom is already connected with Masha. Awesome. Goldie says, I'm a night owl, not a morning person. I've definitely become a morning person. I will be in bed in about half an hour, and then I'll be up probably about 2:30 or so in the morning. I will sit and I'll meditate and I will get my yoga in, I'll get my writing in, I'll get my pre-dawn walk in. IFNHU is here saying, howdy, sir. Hello, my friend. How are you? How's the dog? Goldie says I could sleep until noon if given a chance. Our friend Medic is here. UK Medic says hi to Goldie. Hi, Eric. Goldie says hi to IFNHU. And we get a wave. Goldie says hi there, UK Medic. Always a pleasure. It is always a pleasure. Always fun to have Medic here. Goldie says that was not my debut. It was for me. I like the fact that you came in and you spoke your mind. But it was without any there was nothing connected to it. There was no, you know what I mean? There was no way that I could take offense to anything that you said because it was without guile, I think is the best way to say it. Goldie puts up UK Medics link. So speaking of nature shorts, without doubt, UK Medic has the best, some of the best, if not the best, nature shorts on YouTube. He sets the bar high. Mamizelle? Did I pronounce that right? Mamizelle Longo? El Longo. Watching from Kuwait. Hello, my friend. I appreciate you coming in. Eric Point says, well, 2:30 a.m. That's impressive. I actually wrote about that this morning. It's been something that has spontaneously been happening. I started waking up earlier when I was the critical caregiver for my father, knowing and not knowing what the day was going to bring, and wanting to get my meditation before my dad would wake up, because I know and knew that meditation would make me a better caregiver. It helped when I was caregiving for my mom with her Alzheimer's. Um, so I'd wake up earlier, and then after my father passed away, for whatever reason, I just kept getting drawn to get up earlier and earlier, to get in my meditation, my yoga, my writing, to get outside as early as possible, to experience nature and complete solitude. Gordy says hi to Mommy Zell. It's a beautiful name. IFNHU says he's doing okay. I have a couple of friends on social media with bigger followings than I do. They posted my GoFundMe, and one of them giving 10%. Wow. Offers merch and has and he's donating a percentage. That's awesome. Medic says, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. Oh, I certainly do. Amazing. Eric says hello to Mommy Zell. Mommy Zell says yes. IFNHU says, I think there was about 40 in donations on GoFundMe and 10 cents to my Cash App. Hey, is there any way you can do like on your community page with a link to the GoFundMe, and then I'll share it. If anyone is interested, IFNHU has a older dog who is injured, needs surgery, and it's a very expensive surgery. And he's going to have he has a GoFundMe page. And he says at least it's something that will buy her a brace or sling. Did the doctor say that, or the vet say that the surgery is absolutely necessary? It won't heal on its own? Odom says, I'm up 3 or 4 a.m. every morning for work. Odom, do you do stuff in your garden before you go off to your regular job? Just, like check in? FNHU says, same Odom, not going to lie. I wake up at 2 to 4 every morning. Yeah, about 2:30 has been the natural time for me, it seems. And it's no effort. I don't drag myself out of bed. I'm actually eager to get to the things that I want to get to. Goldie has posted Amazel's channel's link. Awesome. Odom says, I'm looking forward to retirement. Now, I need to preface that with Odom's retirement means full-time work on the half-acre homestead. I think Odom will retire from work and begin his vocation. You can very clearly see that his joy is in the garden. His joy is sunlight and soil and putting the work in. Goldie says, so come on, lovely people, stop showing off. I'm going to sleep at that time. Yeah, I'm usually in bed, sometimes reading a bit. I've mentioned before the practice of reading a holy text, whatever you personally are drawn to, before you go to sleep, because you take those words, you take those passages with you into your subconscious mind. Eric Point says, well, I thought I woke up early, which is between 4 and 5. That is still pretty early. Odom says, I wish I could go back to sleep. Medic says, what time do you want breakfast, Goldie? Laughing out loud. Odom says, no, that's time for the dogs. Goldie says, well, sir, I usually sleep through. Well, I guess whenever you're up and then eat, no matter the time, it's still technically breakfast. IFNHU says it can heal on its own, sort of. It won't be like it was. Now, I'm sorry to hear that. But according to the vet I talked to, if untreated, there's a 70% chance of it happening to the other knee due to all the weight of its bearing. Oh, well, yeah. I hadn't thought of that. And he says, so it's kind of dicey. Yeah, it sounds like it. Man, I wish the vet could think of something, a way of negating the weight a bit, at least for a period of time as it's strengthened. Goldie says, but thank you for offering to make it, Medic. Medic says, I'm thinking I'm a vampire, Goldie, up all night and sleeping most of the day. And Medic says he's fine with that. Eric Point says, sunlight, soil, and putting the work in. Now that sums up farming in a nutshell. This is true. Farming in the best possible way. Odom just reminds me of how it used to be. People producing their own food or producing enough food for others. It wasn't so much an agribusiness. Goldie says, that's for me to know and you to find out, Medic. And Medic says, I was going to do an edit on one of your videos and do a shout out for your channel. That would be much appreciated, my friend. I enjoy your shout outs. IFNHU says, or Goldie says IFNHU, I didn't find a GoFundMe link. So, yeah, if you could post one on your community page, that would be awesome. And I'll definitely share it out. FNHU says, I did find a dog wheelchair that assists the dog's rear legs, but still lets her dog pedal its way along for only $500. But then she'll probably have arthritis from it, but $500 compared to $5,400. Well, see if you can raise to $5,400, and if not, at least you have that option. Goldie says, I'm amazed by your editing skills, Medic. Yeah, man, the nature shorts as well as the traveling videos are just seamlessly made, artistically made. Absolutely amazing. FNHU says, isn't so bad. Well, there is that possibility. You might be able to get that 5,400. Odom says, I'm not a farmer at all. I'm a country grower. Odom, do you sell your surplus? Um, or is it all family and friend consumption? Eric Point says that makes sense, Odom. I like the sound of country grower. That's a nice label. Goldie says exactly, and always picks the right music, the perfect music. Um, and that in and of itself is uh, an art form. You got to have that intuitive sense of what's going to work with what. Odom says all for family. If I am ever in Tennessee, I'm going to stop by for a Fuji apple. No, I'm going to stop by for, what did you call it? A black Arkansas apple, which I've never had before and I've never seen. Even in the natural markets around here, I haven't seen. You know what? I'm going to stop by for a Fuji apple and a black Arkansas apple. And maybe pancakes. So, I think with that, guys, we're going to wind down. We're going to let Goldie get some sleep. Eric Point says yes. Yeah, that's a good label, country grower. It is. I like the way that sounds. This is the first time hearing it. Wow. That is definitely, it's definitely a wow label. It would almost make a good name for a channel as well. Although I mentioned before, I really do like the sound of Odom's Homestead. Maybe it's just because I've gotten to know Odom as Odom's Homestead. Odom says farmers use pesticides and tile up the land, robbing the land of nutrients, aborot my land. Man, I love hearing that. I love that explanation, Odom. And that's why growing your own food is most definitely um, the most nutritious way. UK Medic says Robbing, not Robin. That's my first name, Odom. Goldie says, Odom, I'm using the scraps from my kitchen and using it in the garden to enrich the soil. Nice. UK Medic gets a laugh from Odom. Man, we always grew up with a garden. We had, well, where my family was from in Pennsylvania, everyone had a huge garden. If not an actual farm. I mentioned before I worked on a mule farm, which made no small part in me turning to be a vegan later in life. And it was a cousin's farm. I lived there for uh, several months, actually. Odom says, yes, Goldie, that's awesome. I do too. Medic says, I don't waste any food. I either make soap. That's interesting. Or the animals get it. I will never throw food away. It's a good policy. Goldie says, I'm slowly landscaping in my backyard. I live in a 10-story high building. Wow. What floor are you on, Goldie? Goldie says, but I got permission to develop the backyard. That's awesome. So I'm doing a quick check to see if our friend Noble is doing a live stream. I'd say hi before I go to bed. And he was, but we just lost him. He ended 6 minutes ago. Cody says the first one on the ground floor. Nice. Odom says that's awesome. Nothing better than being in nature. I agree, 100%. Duncan Wash Fitness is here. Sorry, late tonight. That's okay. We're just about to say goodnight. I had a rather punishing Duncan Wash Fitness motivation fitness motivation, sorry, inspired workout today. So I am ready for bed and for recovery. I got my 7s across the board in the last 2 minutes on my Navy SEALs. Medic says I also ignore use by dates on a lot of products. They don't know they're out of date, and if it looks and tastes okay, it gets used. Yeah, I think most things have a shelf life far past the expiration point. Duncan says, just watch your intervals. Thanks. Any words of wisdom? Take up another hobby, maybe give up burpees and start golfing. Step aerobics, water aerobics. Cody says, Eric, we're having a premiere tomorrow. I saw that you were having one, and I subscribed. So hopefully that'll work. What time is the premiere? As I want to give myself another reminder. Duncan says, commented twice by mistake. Goldie says hi to Duncan. Duncan is saying hi to Goldie. And, oh, you know what? I think everyone should be connected with Duncan. But thanks to Goldie, she is bringing Duncan up. Definitely hook up with Duncan. Some truly creative and inspiring fitness thoughts, routines, programs. Let's see. Cody says he asked me to do math at this time. We can skip the math. I will be checking my notifications to make sure. No sense in doing math this late. I don't like doing math anytime. I've had the misfortune of trying to do math after a hard set of burpees, and then nothing ever good comes out of it. Medic says, can you drop the link of your Premier Goldie so I don't miss it? And there's the link. Awesome. Goldie says it's only a 5-minute video. Looking forward to the premiere, though. Duncan says, do you feel a little fit, Eric? I definitely feel a difference um, in my regular reps. So it's definitely had an effect. Two things that have been very effective: the dips have helped quite a bit with the Navy SEALs, particularly, um, and doing the intervals, both Navy SEALs and with the one pumps. And so, yeah, definitely feel fitter. It's a keeper. Medic says, thanks, Goldie. I will be there. I will be there as well. Eric Point says, good night, everyone. Um, Goldie says, thank you, Medic. I might go live after, but again, a short one. I have every intention of being there. Duncan says, your best interval seals for sure, with the 10 seconds differential, 5 seconds more work, 5 seconds less rest for the 8s. Yeah, I hadn't planned on doing 8s. I was going to keep it at 7, and I just found my time was off at the beginning. My timing was off. And I found myself just sort of naturally doing 8s. I think next time I might try to drop back down to 7 and take off that 5 seconds, like you mentioned. Medic says, I'm already there, waiting, got my sleeping bag. It's like waiting to get tickets for a concert. Gordy says, please put a neck brace on too, Medic. I think we should all be in line for the premiere. So, all right, guys, with that, I got to head to bed. Got a premiere early in the morning. Appreciate everyone being here. Goldie, I appreciate you dropping the links. Huge help. I hope everyone has an opportunity to connect. Thank you for everything, Goldie. Medic, always appreciate you being here. Getting a chance to talk and catch up. And Duncan, thank you for everything. You know what? Thank you even for the intervals. Even for the high degree of pain that you brought into my life, I am very much appreciative of. Eric Lapointe, thanks again. Always like being here with you. And looking forward to when you put your channel out. Our friend Odom. Always enjoy our conversations with Odom. IFNHU. Man, I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about your dog. I hope something can be done. I appreciate Mocha being here. And we had a new friend, Mama Zeal. Appreciate her being here. All the way from Kuwait. It's pretty big. I don't think we've had anyone from Kuwait here before. And Masha. Always appreciate you being here. Always appreciate your help. Very much appreciate your channel. Everything you do for everyone. And last but certainly not least, Malcolm McCarty. Thank you for being here. And by here, I don't just mean my YouTube channel. Thank you for being here in my life. Cody says, thank you for a lovely chat. And thank you. Cody says, my pleasure. Medic says, take care of all. Thumbs up from Eric Lapointe. And prayer position from our friend Duncan. Thank you, Duncan. Thanks, everyone. I'll see everyone tomorrow.